Alright, so let's go ahead and get right into the video. This is my wig. I went ahead and plucked and bleached this unit. If you want to see how I did that, click the eye up in the corner that's popping up right now. So first things first, I see how the wig fits on my head. This wig was a little bit smaller, but that didn't really stop me from laying this wig, child, because you know I'm always make it do what it do. So then I went ahead and cut my ear tabs out, which is basically cutting the excess lace that's hanging over your ears because you don't want that. Then I go in with my foundation color and I go ahead and apply that all over my lace as well as my wig cap, which you will see me do right now. I kind of apply my foundation in a T shape, so I do it around the perimeter of the wig cap and then going back, just so when I part my wig, my cap is the same color as my frontal. And once I do that, I go ahead and cut tabs into the lace. So I just cut different sections, as you can see me doing right now. This just makes it easier to apply the glue, so you don't have to do it all in one section. So I go ahead and dot my glue where I want my lace to be laid at, and as you can see, it kind of got onto the lace right there, so I'm just spreading it with the glue. I don't know why this makes me paranoid, but I just don't want the glue to chunk up on the lace. So I just go ahead and dot all around my perimeter, and you see I put a little bit of glue on my edge right there, but I went ahead after off cam and I went ahead and just took that off. I didn't apply as much on my perimeter on my edges because you will see me do a different method after this. Like I said earlier, the wig was a little too small for me, so I couldn't pull it so far on my forehead to, you know, lay the lace, so I had to go ahead and put the glue a little on my edges. If you do this method, just make sure that you are soaking your wig off. Don't try to just snatch it off like Shinsia or whoever you seen on Instagram do it. You will lose your edges. Okay, soak your wig off. So I'll go ahead and apply 2 layers of glue, and the second layer I spread it out with my comb, as you can see, and then I let it dry until it is tacky. The first layer I let it dry until it's clear. This layer I let it dry until it's tacky. So then once it is tacky, I go ahead and pull down my lace and I get my rat tail comb and I make sure that I'm pressing the lace into the glue. And to make sure that you have a clean install every time, you want to make sure that you're taking the silver part of the comb and pressing the lace down, and then you go use the comb part to actually comb the hair up off the glue, because you don't want the hair to be stuck to the glue, you want the lace to be stuck to the glue. So just make sure that you're going ahead and you're using that comb part and combing that hair up off the glue if it does get stuck. So once I'm done pressing the lace into the glue, I just make sure any stray hairs or anything like that, I just go ahead and either pull them off with tweezers or pull them off with my fingers, just to make sure that you have a clean install at all times. Having a clean install will definitely make laying your wig way easier. I always wait to do my ear tabs last, so I just go ahead and apply the glue like I would when I laid my wig the first time. First layer I let it dry till it's clear, second layer I let it dry till it's tacky, and then I go ahead and press the lace into the glue. Then I go ahead and clip my hair up and I put on my elastic band. And if you don't know and you're a beginner, most likely you are if you're watching this video, elastic band helps to melt your lace. And I go ahead and leave my elastic band on for about 5 to 10 minutes before I take it off. Once I do take it off, I go ahead and apply a little bit more makeup. You don't want to apply too much makeup to your lace because then that makes it get gunky. Then I go ahead and I cut off my lace with a eyebrow razor. I don't use scissors unless I don't have a fresh blunt eyebrow razor. And if you do use scissors, just make sure you're cutting in a zigzag line or just a jagged line. Cutting straight across makes it more visible for some reason. I don't know why, but it does. So just make sure that if you use scissors, you cut in a jagged line. Same with your eyebrow razor. I don't know if you can see it or not, but my lace above my real edges that's showing is not really glued down. So like I said before, I wiped off that glue that was right there just so it wasn't that much glue on my edges. I didn't really want that much glue on my edges right there, so I just took it off and I went ahead and just glued around that area. Then I go ahead and put a little bit of my wig glue that I'm using onto like a pan or a surface, and I take the end of my rat tail comb and I just put glue under the pieces of lace that are still lifted. This just makes sure that your wig is literally laid. Okay, the only amount of glue that I apply on my edges is what I'm doing right now, what you see me doing right now. This is the only amount of glue that I ended up putting on my edges. And once again, if you do this method, you still want to make sure that you soak your wigs off. You don't want to snatch your edges. Okay, don't try to blame me in the comments if your edges is bald. Okay, because I had to go through trial and error. I really did in high school, and don't be like me. So I pretty much just do this so that when I do my edges on my wig, the lace is at least flat. I don't want the lace sticking up, but I also don't want it glued to my edges. So this is why I do that. Alright, so once I'm done applying my glue, I go ahead and apply my Gots to Be glue. I spray it on the back of my edge brush, and then I just go ahead and press it into my lace slowly. And then I just let it air dry. You could go ahead and use a blow dryer or a mini fan, but mine is not charged, so I just go ahead and let it air dry. dries the same. I feel like once I do this part, this is what really melts my lace into my forehead. It just blends the lace, the color, the foundation, everything. It just blends everything into my skin. And then on top of that, you want to go ahead and make sure you let that dry. Once it's fully dry, I go ahead and fold my elastic band and then tie it, and then I let that sit for 5 to 10 minutes. That's my ultimate melt process. Once I tie my elastic band like this and I take it off, when I tell you there's no lace, I done pressed that thing into my forehead, okay? This is my new hairline. Look at that. Now we're gonna go ahead and move on to edges. I go ahead and take my comb and I part some edges off of the wig from the hairline, and then I go ahead and clip back the other hair just so we can once again have a clean install, an organized install. And just to have a more natural but dramatic edge look, I part some of that hair off because I don't want my edges too dense, you know, too thick. Then I go ahead and do the same for my other side, and I do the same for my sideburns as well. So then once I section off my edges, I go ahead and cut my edges, but I don't cut a blunt line. I literally just let the scissors glide across the edges just so it can be kind of like a layered effect, because whose edges is blunt? I mean, these edges is already dramatic and not natural, but they can't be blunt too. Like, that just gives it away. So next I do my edges. I just go in with my mini flat iron and I curl them. Then I go ahead and put my finger on the base of the edge and then swoop it with the edge brush. I hope I'm explaining that right. If I'm not, I hope you're a visual learner, because you're just gonna have to watch, because I don't know how else to explain it. So doing my edges can be a little bit messy, so when I'm done, I just make sure once again that if there's any flyaways, I go ahead and take them off with my tweezers, or I try to get it with my fingers. But just to be a little bit more precise, I use my tweezers. Then I do my sideburns the same way. I cut them, but I don't cut them blunt, and then I swoop them the same way I just taught you how to. So now I'm going to move on to curling my hair. Like you just saw, this curling iron will be linked on my Amazon storefront under hair supplies. But if you want a full in-depth video on how I barrel curl, comment that down below and I will try to record that as soon as possible. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys watch how I do it. This is pretty much the end of the video. This is the full install. And once again, if you guys want to see how I bleached, plucked, and I actually sewed bundles into this wig, if you guys want to see how I did all that, those videos will be linked down below and at the end of this video. So yeah, this is the end of my voiceover. Make sure you stay tuned all the way to the end for the full results, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys at the end of the video. And this is the end result, y'all. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If it was, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And comment down below what you would like to see next. And check out some of my other videos. We'll be cutting up over there. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. And I will see you guys in the next video.
Is anyone gonna explain to me why we are friends with people that make us feel drained? Why we are friends with people that gossip about us? Why are we friends with people who we are constantly giving to and we're not receiving anything back? Why? Because if you think that you constantly trying to uplift your friend, trying to help them, and they don't want your help, they constantly just complain about their situation, and you're trying to uplift them, where do you think you're going? You're not going anywhere, honey. Nowhere, literally.